Thanks for coming. I'm Donna Raidy. I'm the CEO of Fertility Source Companies. This is Erica Avadano Tucker. She's one of our case managers. She's been with us for just over 13 years. So let me put off the fly here. So we are an egg donor and surrogacy agency. We're based in Southern California in Orange County, but we do have offices across the U.S. We have staff across the U.S. We're 19 people strong. We've been doing this since 2003. We have egg donors, a little over 500 available egg donors, and surrogates. We currentently have 5 available surrogates who are screened, ready to be matched. We constantly are recruiting, trying to get more surrogates, because that's the harder part of the equation to find. Donors are relatively easier to find. Gestational carriers are the much harder piece of it for us to find and recruit. So that's just a constant ongoing battle for us to try to find qualified surrogates for you. We have a nurse on staff who reviews all of the medical records, making sure that they've had healthy deliveries, that they're going to have healthy deliveries for you guys. What am I forgetting?
So unprepared.
I know, I'm sorry, me too.
So when we are saying we have 5 available surrogates, those are surrogates that have been through our screening process. So they kind of filter in through a tunnel. We have about 100 applications that we go through. We have to get their medical records. We have to actually look at their medical records and check. We can't take anybody on their word that they had a healthy pregnancy. We have to make sure that everything looks good, which is where having our nurse on staff to review those medical records and make sure, because I don't know if you guys have ever looked at medical records. It's like a whole foreign language. I have no idea what any of it says. So we need to make sure that they're healthy pregnancies. From there, we then...
Sorry. Sorry.
I was like, I'm loud. From there, then we have to have them do a psychological evaluation. So they and their partner are going to meet with a licensed psychologist. They're going to undergo a personality assessment. Basically, we just want to make sure that they're of sound mental capacity, that they understand what it is that they're doing, that they are going to be carrying somebody else's child, and that they are truly aware of the importance of their role and their importance of respecting the intended parents, you guys' wishes. And if you have, requests in regards to seafood or hair coloring or communication, that she understands that it's her body, yes, but it's your baby. And that's very, very important. So the psychologist discusses that. Then they come to their background check. We make sure that there's no criminal background history with them and any adult living in their household, including children who are 18 years of age or older, as well as maybe they have a roommate or they have a cousin who's come to live with them for a little bit. They're all subject to the same background checks. And all of those 100, we get a month, trickle down to how many?
On average, we add about 9 or 10 new surrogates to the database every year, or every month rather, to get matched. So out of 100 applications, we're going to narrow it down to like maybe 25, where we're going to ask for their medical records, and then getting that reviewed is even less than that. So it just really depends on how many qualified applications we get, but on the average, it's between 9 and 10 that we are fully vetted, ready to be matched with intended parents. So there, we do have, like I said, 5 available now. We constantly are vetting. Sometimes we have 0, and we work off of a priority list. Other times, we do have some extras. So it's constantly a battle to make sure that we have enough to help you guys when you guys are ready. Can I answer? Yes.
So in terms of the quality control, how big is your agency?
We have 19 employees total. We have, for the incoming surrogates, they're going to see approximately 4 different people. Our GC recruiter, who's going to do a webinar with them, explain their role, explain how the process is going to look, what it's going to look like. She then is in contact with the person who requests all of the medical records, talks to her about who she sees, her prior pregnancies, OB/GYN, all that type of stuff. So we get all of their records in. If the nurse has any questions for her, she then will talk to the GC and get any qualifying questions that the nurse may have. And then after that, we'll do either an in-house home assessment or over the Skype if they're, in a small town where we don't have staff. If they pass all of that, then they're going to go to the psychologist that Erica had mentioned at that point. So she's got a lot of people along the way that she's meeting with and having to pass each one of those, based on their personality and our requirements. We are owned by a group of fertility physicians, so we have ASRM guidelines, but we also have, them kind of saying this is what you need to look for in your surrogates. We don't want, surrogates who are over a certain BMI. We have to make sure they have the healthy pregnancies. And sure, maybe on paper she passes all the things she should pass, but maybe there's a question about one of the deliveries, maybe she just didn't get prenatal care early enough, then we push it out to our fertility centers who own us and say, would you work with the surrogate based on what they see on the paper? So then it's kind of their call to help us make that medical decision, because obviously they're the ones that's going to have to approve or deny once they get to the clinics. Can I answer any other questions? Yeah, please.
At what point in the process are your agencies?
So when you are first matched with the surrogate, so two ways. So if we have available surrogates and you like one of those available surrogates, then you would go ahead and pay $15,000 to match and get started. And then there's two other payments at legal. You would pay $6,000 once you guys have finished legal, and then $4,000 when you do your embryo transfer. If you go on our priority list, you pay $10,000 to get onto the priority list. That means you're going to see the surrogates before they're available and released to the website. Then once you match with the surrogate off of the priority list, you pay $5,000 for that first $15,000 payment, and then the same $6,000 and $4,000 along the lines. And that's all inclusive. That includes background check, that includes psychological evaluation, all of the advertising and vetting that we had to do. It's just one fee for that. Still have to pay your attorney, still have to pay for her attorney, that type of stuff, but all of the internal things are all just one price. And same thing, we talked a little bit about GCs as far as donors go, kind of the same thing. Donors come in, they have to meet with the GC recruiter. She does a webinar with them. We have them fill out a profile that talks about social history, medical history, background, that type of thing. They, however, don't go to a psychological evaluation until they're matched with intended parents. So once you've selected them, if you're interested in an egg donor, she would go and do her psychological evaluation, go and do her medical evaluation, and then she would go on and then start the medication cycle and such. If at any time either a donor doesn't pass medical, or you get hung up in legal and there's a problem, then we would rematch you to a new donor for no additional cost. Yeah.
So what's your average wait time to be matched with a surrogate?
If you don't select one of the available ones that we currently have, somewhere between 2 and 3 months. It could be a little bit longer if it's a California surrogate, but I don't think too often we go beyond 4 months. Like I said, that's a never-ending process that we're going through. We get, like I said, between 80 and 100 applications every single month, so we're just constantly recruiting and getting them through the processes.
So if somebody's choosing somebody from your database, the profile is from your database, is it a first come, first served basis? It's like what if everybody in this room chooses the same one?
Yeah, it's kind of first come, first serve. So if somebody comes in and says, hey, we like, surrogate Abby, we want to put her on hold, then we give them a 24-hour courtesy hold. We start working on trying to arrange a match meeting. You get to match with, or you get to have this match meeting. We try to make sure it's scheduled within a week.
Yeah, within a week.
Within a week. And then we just let the other intended parent, somebody's already got her on hold. As soon as that match meeting either takes place or not, we can continue after that. Yeah, correct. And if it's a priority list, if you've paid to be on the priority list, you get presented with the profile, you get 24 hours to say, I'm interested in her, or just go ahead and pass, and then we try to go through the same process as far as getting matched with the match meeting. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead.
So just to clarify, you guys don't screen her psychologically, medically first before you put her on that surrogate pool?
No, surrogates are psychologically screened and background screened. Only donors are not.
But you said after you match, right?
With donors or after you match. With surrogates, it's prior. Because of the number of surrogates, are so much less than donors. We couldn't possibly screen 500 donors and still have them available to you. So they have to be selected before they go and attend that psychological evaluation. Surrogates are a completely different animal. Yeah.
Speaking of the psychological evaluation, in your agency, how does it work? Do you have like a network or recommendation, referral, or like in-house or contractor?
No, we refer out to the location of where the donor and or the surrogate lives. So we'll have her, if she's, in Northern California, there'll be a group of psychologists that we work with in this area, and we would refer her out. It's not on staff, it's a third party from us. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're not on the priority list,
Mm-hmm.
like would we go ahead and like sign up? Do we have to pay a fee to sign up and then review the surrogates you currently have available?
No, not at all. You can go on today and register and see the girls that are in the available status. If you wanted to set up a match meeting, we would do the match meeting. You wouldn't pay until you wanted to go forward with that surrogate.
So we could potentially do a match meeting without fees.
Correct. Yep. We don't exchange personal information. We wouldn't give her your personal information. You wouldn't get hers until a match was decided to go forward and a contract is signed. But yeah, absolutely. There's no cost to do that. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the great things about when we do have available surrogates is that you can have that match meeting and not have to have any money out of pocket right away. And you can have a match meeting and maybe not elect to go forward. It may just not be a great fit. She may not be on the same page. You may want her to eat organic, and she's like, I like my burgers. So sometimes you have match meetings and they just don't go forward for whatever reason. Just don't get along.
So is the matching, is it kind of up to the intended parents to sort of pick, or do you guys try and facilitate it at all? Or?
It's a little bit of both. So if you're looking at the available surrogates, you're going to already know what it is you're kind of looking for in your surrogate, so you'll be able to see right there whether or not she meets. If you go on the priority list, your initial coordinator, your intake coordinator, she is going to know some of the specifics that you're looking for in your carrier: location, willingness to term reduce, willingness to carry twins, and so she's only going to present you profiles that meet those criteria. And then when you have your match meeting, you further discuss all of that stuff. And, it tends to be like a 90-minute meeting with you, your coordinator, and the potential surrogate.